Hello, everybody. Welcome back for another episode of Big Talk with Chris and Greg. This is Chris.
This is Greg.
And, first off, Greg, I just want to thank everybody that's listened to us so far, downloaded our podcast on Podbean, and people that are following us at Big Talk CG. That's our Instagram. And our email is bigtalkcg@gmail.com. Thank you guys very, very much. Without you, we'd still be doing it, but...
Right? Yes, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. A big heartfelt thank you.
And just to let you know that, yes, we do read every single email and comment.
Yes.
I did say email, not...
Emails.
We got it. We got an email.
All right.
It was from my brother. And, I respect his opinion because if we were doing a bad job, he would say, your shit sucks.
Yeah.
So he said, hey, man, you guys are doing a good job. But he wanted to chime in. On our first episode, we talked about some of our favorite debut albums. And he wanted to chime in with some of his picks. And so I'll just run down the list that he emailed me. His first one he has is Suicidal Tendencies, their self-titled debut.
Nice.
Good album. I like that one. Necronomadol, album called Nemesis. They're a Japanese band. Never heard of them. Don't even know what they sound like, but knowing my brother, it's probably good.
Are they big in Japan?
They're big in Japan.
Right.
Just like Anvil.
Oh.
Just like Anvil. They're big in Japan. Angry Samoans Inside My Brain. I am familiar with that album. It's pretty good. It's good. For what it is, it's a good album. Fear, the record. Fear is a punk rock band, late 70s, early 80s, around that time period.
Nice.
Misfits, Walk Among Us.
Oh, man.
Dude, the Misfits are good. Their singer, of course, was Glenn Danzig. We talked about his solo debut album on the debut album episode we did. Death, Scream, Bloody Gore. They are a thrash band from Florida, so you know what you're getting with that one.
Yeah.
And then Nirvana's debut, Bleach, which I kind of regret we didn't talk about. I did listen to that album a lot. But, man, we had so much we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Something had to end up on the cutting room floor.
Well, maybe we need to do another episode of debut albums.
Maybe we do need to do another episode on debut albums, because I'm sure that we could go on for another hour and 4 minutes or however long.
We can cut it to an hour and 2 minutes.
We'll cut it to an hour and 2 minutes. So I wanted to thank my brother for sending us that email, and just to give him some props. He does have his own record label. It's called Night Hag Records. The website is nighthagrecords.bandcamp.com. He's also on Twitter at SoundsOTSound. And just wanted to give him a shout out. Go check out his website and tweet at him. Tweet.
There you go.
Another person that we know, Eric, sent us a comment on Instagram, which is at BigTalkCG. His handle there is Turn It Up Louder 11 with an underscore between each word, and he gave us props on Motley Crue, their debut album, The Oh Holy Diver, and the 10 album from Pearl Jam. He was down with all those. I also had another a texting conversation with a buddy of mine, and he agreed with us on the Beastie Boys. His name is Scott. His handle on Instagram is at WScottRoss, if you want to check him out as well.
Nice.
So thank you to everybody that's pulled me aside and that I've seen that said, maybe do this, maybe do that, or you do great at this, you do great at that. So we appreciate it. Keep the comments coming, keep the emails coming, and keep the follows coming, hopefully.
Yes. I also had a lot of people talking to me, letting me know we were doing well. The banter, the conversation was really smooth and exciting, and a few chuckles out of everybody once in a while. So we appreciate that. We really do.
Yeah.
So what's today's topic about?
Today, well, if I remember correctly, you said you were going to surprise me with a topic. You were going to pull something out of your wrestling trunks.
Oh, all right. So here it is. We're going to do singles or songs from soundtracks that we love.
Ooh, like it. All
right. I'm going to start us off. How about that?
All right. Start us off.
All right. I'm going to start us off with, from Rocky III, Survivor's Eye of the Tiger. Really?
I don't like that song.
That's a great song, man. It pumps you up, gets you excited, man. Rocky.
That song, I will give you the guitar intro for that song is great. Jigga 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 dun 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 dun. I love it, love it. Then after that, I don't like the song at all. After
So
that.
you don't like the band, or you just don't like the song?
I just
or
don't
you
like the song.
The hook.
I don't like the song.
So
No.
Eye of the Tiger doesn't want to make you work out when you're pumping
No.
iron and
No,
stretching.
If I'm gonna listen to any of them, it's gonna be Rocky 4. I think that soundtrack's way better. But go ahead and talk about your Eye of the Tiger. Go ahead.
No, Eye of the Tiger, great song. I love it. Pumps me up, gets me ready to go. Talking about Rocky 4, that from there, No Easy Way Out from Robert Temper. That song is excellent, man.
Yeah.
It gets me so excited. In the movie, I loved it. And he's driving because Apollo got beat up.
Yeah, died.
Or died. Oh man, love it. Gets me all excited. Rocky
And
4.
What the song, if I remember correctly, they're in Russia. He's doing his training montage. Hearts on Fire.
Oh,
That I could just see it. He's got the log on his shoulder. She's like doing his Rocky thing, and it's great. You don't hear those songs on the radio ever.
correct.
Really, ever. You do hear "Eye of the Tiger," which is unfortunate.
I think on the 80s, station channel, when they play older ones, they'll probably
Maybe
do that one.
But I can hear the song in my head. I'll have it on a playlist maybe and hear it and Rocky 4 out and beat up Ivan Drago. But I'm just gonna, didn't mean to rain on your parade with your whole Eye of the Tiger thing, but I'm just gonna go straight to it. The song that everybody wants to talk about, "Don't You Forget About Me" from the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
It's, to me, just the song standing alone by itself. I always say it is, to me, the quintessential 80s song, the sound of the 80s. If I was going to play one song to someone here, what did the 80s sound like this? I would play that song for them.
Okay.
I'm sure everybody out there has seen Breakfast Club. If you haven't, go watch it. John Hughes movie, Emilio Estevez, Ali Sheedy, Molly Ringwald, Judd Nelson, Michael Anthony Hall. Great movie. They're, have to spend detention on a Saturday in school, and they get in, hijinks ensue, and people that you don't think you're gonna fall in love, and what do you got? They have to end up writing a letter, and it's the jock, the princess, the criminal, the nerd. And the space case or whatever.
Yeah.
Ali Sheedy's character is, but the movie, I love that movie. I've ever seen it back when I was in elementary school. I think 5th grade. Whether or not it was appropriate for me to watch at that time or not, I don't know.
It was.
I mean,
The teacher stayed out of attention, Chris, in high school.
Taught me how to stay attention, but I was using words that were in that movie that I probably shouldn't have been using them at the times I was using them. But I was like, 5th grade. Okay, my daughter wanted to watch it. Oh, you're in 5th grade. Yeah, at the same time I watched it, so
There you go.
she's seen it too. But the movie obviously doesn't play till the end. When Judd Nelson's walking the football field and puts his hand up in the air or whatever, kind of a triumphant moment, of the climax of the movie. But man, I love that song. I hear it on the radio. I turn it up. It's one of those songs that where you hear it, you let it play.
Yes.
If you're watching the movie, you don't say,
Yeah.
movie's over, what's next?
Right.
And you let it play.
Yeah. One other song I'm going to bring up is Dawkins' Dream Warriors from Nightmare Before Elm Street, Part 3.
Part 3.
Loved that song. I think it was meant just for the soundtrack, but I think they put it on their greatest hits or their next album.
Yeah, Dawkins, another favorite band of ours.
Yeah, doing some movie soundtracks. Love it.
That was a hit for them.
Yes.
That was probably maybe I would assume their highest charting hit. Most likely, I don't know. I would have to go back. I would have to call Casey Kasem. And America Top 40.
I loved that Freddie showed up in the music video
Yeah.
for that.
Well, I mean, it was the heyday of MTV. They were, pulling out all the stops, anything they could get for videos, as cheesy as they could be, but.
doing it. George Lynch doing the solo, man.
Yeah, George Lynch doing solo. And back then, you bring up music videos and soundtracks. Basically, they were, how long is the song? 3.5, 4 minutes. It was a 3.5, 4 minute advertisement for the movie. So yeah,
right.
You put whatever you want from the movie in there because the studio knew that they were just gonna get all eyes on that movie. But yeah, it turned out to be a hit for them. And one of obviously in my opinion, the first Nightmare on Elm Street was the best one. But number three is a good one. I remember that was probably the most commercially accessible one, as in commercially accessible for like everybody to watch. But man, just a side note, my daughter, my 12-year-old, she is really into horror movies. She likes more of the The Nun and paranormal, like those ones that jump out, like the startle you kind of movies. Her favorite movie is Child's Play, by the way. But man, we tried to sit her down to watch the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie. I think she got 10 minutes into the movie and was too scared to watch it. So yeah, it's too scary for
her. Wow.
Yeah. So I guess she's not as into horror movies as she thought she was. A lot of, because we grew up in an era of the 80s. So a lot of our stuff is about 80s, but it's not crap 80s. It's good 80s. Because one of the best movies I'm going to talk about now that came out of the 80s was Karate Kid.
Ooh, yeah.
And the song I'm going to talk about is, I don't even think, was it even released as a single? I don't know. But it was Best Around. Joe Esposito.
Yes.
You never, I don't think I've ever heard that song on the radio, but I will look that song up on my Apple Music, wherever I'm listening to music, and I'll play that song. And you want to talk about pump you up songs? And a song you brought up earlier, Eye of the Tiger, the song blows it away as a pump up song. I will go toe to toe with anybody. When you hear that song, what do you think about?
Ralph Macchio's character working out, or with Mr. Miyagi getting ready and doing stuff, or even at the end when doing the karate scene tournament, and he's beating up the other guys in Cobra Kai to get to face Johnny. Yeah, you're the best around.
You're the best. Man, I remember when I saw that movie in the movie theater, and man, it's as good as it. I mean, I haven't seen it recently within months, but I've seen it recent enough, and I like that movie's great. That movie's great, and I always look forward. There's a few other songs I look forward to hearing in that movie, but man, Best Around. Every time I hear that song, dude, it gets you pumped up. It gets you pumped up. Like, all right, Daniel's about to whoop some Cobra Kai ass right now. He whoops all their asses. I mean, of course, if I remember correctly, the one ass that he kicks at the end to get to Johnny, isn't it Dutch?
I think so.
Dutch, remember? Man.
Is that the guy with the bleach blonde hair?
Yeah, the guy with the bleach blonde hair. And you see, remember, he's just all over him. Remember, he can't figure out how to put his gi on in the locker room. He's just talking smack to him. He's just like, oh, man, I hope he kicks his ass. And then I love it.
He does.
And I love it. And but hearing that song is great. There's a couple other songs I want to talk about from that movie, if you will oblige me for a moment. Young Hearts by Commuter.
Oh.
When they make up.
Yes.
And, because remember there was the whole scene where Ralph Macchio's character, Danielson, sees Allie with an eye. And Johnny kisses her at the club, at the country club, and he gets a spaghetti all over him, and then Allie, punches him, and he goes to golf and stuff to try to make up, and her friends are like, she doesn't want to be with you, and can't you take a hint? And, I wouldn't have known, she was kissing Johnny or whatever, and she's like, well, how do you think she hurt her wrist? She punched him. He finds out, and he goes on and apologizes to her, and they get the Young Hearts.
Yeah, that's a good sound of that.
They do beat fast. And another song I want to talk about from that movie is Cruel Summer by Bananarama. If I remember correctly, they're a British group, 3 girls that sing. Funny thing about that song, it wasn't even on the soundtrack they didn't want it. Bananarama apparently didn't want it on the soundtrack for whatever reason. You would think the exposure would have been great for them.
Right.
But that's the whole scene when he's riding his bike, going to school for the first day, sees, his newly made enemies. And that's a really good song. I hear that one on the radio. I crank it up a little bit. And, Karate Kid, those 3 songs alone right there are great. I love them. Can't get enough of them. As Gregg would say, what more of them?
Another movie I love, and a lot of good soundtracks, a couple good singles from there. Clerks 2 starts off with, the movie opens up with Talking Heads, Nothing But Flowers. Kind of fun little quirky song to start the movie off as they're driving in and having a good time and stuff like that. The guys are getting ready to start their shift at the movies restaurant.
Yeah, I've seen Clerks 2, and maybe I need to go back and see it again because I don't remember any of the songs from that movie. Yeah. Go ahead.
Another single from that one, which I love, is from King Diamond, Welcome Home. Starts off with a scream. I mean, love it. It's just fun metal that they're throwing in there, making some jokes.
It's almost like a guilty pleasure, like, oh man, I love this song. I'm going to put it in this movie.
Right.
Whether or not it fits or not, I'm going to throw it in. King Diamond. What a great voice.
Right. Another last song, which I do love, but it also comes on another soundtrack, is Goodbye Horses from Lazarus and Garvey. It's kind of fun, slowly 80s song, but it does come on and are mostly known for Silence of the Lambs. That's what that song is from. That's another good one, which I love.
That, Silence of the Lambs, that's a creepy one.
Oh, yeah. It's not really known for their soundtrack,
No.
but that song in the movie brings out a lot of emotion or a lot of depth to the character, that type of stuff.
Is there a particular time of that movie that song's playing?
The character is dancing around, doing a good tuck, and kind of, dancing in front of the mirror, showing that how sexy he is and how, he's looking sexy. So.
Love it. I don't think there's anybody in that movie that's sexy.
It's not. I think in his own mind, he thinks he's sexy.
So I'm going to kind of turn the tables, flip it right here. We're always talking about our rock and roll. We're always talking about our 80s. We're always talking about, all that kind of stuff. But one song I want to talk about, and I'm sure you've heard it, I don't know how familiar you are with it, is the song Lose Yourself, Eminem from 8 Mile.
8 Mile.
Now, I believe it won Academy Award for Best Song from a Movie the year it came out. And it's a movie that stars Eminem, just kind of, biographical chronicles, him kind of the struggles that he has as a rapper in Detroit, in the outskirts of Detroit. Good movie, I think. It's a good movie. He's playing himself, kind of, so... obviously, he would know how he acts, but it's a good movie. But that song, a whole nother level. If you go back, you watch the movie. The rap battle at the end. I don't know if you've seen that.
Oh yeah.
So they got the rap battle at the end, and so that's kind of how he defeats his enemies.
His rival.
No spoiler alert. Sorry guys, but man, Lose Yourself. You hear that song and. That's another one of those jams that's okay. Pump it up.
Yeah, definitely.
It's I don't listen to a lot of that, a lot of rap music, especially when I've got my Sirius XM on or whatever. I either have somebody talking to me or I'm listening to some rock. But I do have that on my gym mix. I do put it on when I go to the gym, and I love it. I think that's a great song. It's a well done song. It's a well written song, well performed song. It goes great with the movie, and I can't say enough good things about it.
Going back to the 80s and 90s, I'm going to bring up a song from a soundtrack, A View to a Kill. Duran Duran did a song. This is a James Bond movie. Duran Duran at the time, heyday, they're monsters. Great band. And they pulled this out of the pulled this song for the soundtrack, and it worked. It was definitely, I think, a turning point because they were kind of going in maybe little different sound, but it pulls off that it's a great song for a killer movie and a good single for the soundtrack.
Yeah, whenever I hear that song, View to a Kill, I think of the movie, like right away. Obviously, View to a Kill with Roger Moore,
Yeah,
right, was
Roger
playing
Moore.
James Bond, and it had Grace Jones
Oh, okay.
also was in it,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, that's the one where they, the climactic final scene is there's that bomb in that mine shaft because he's trying to flood, like California or something like that. Like he's trying to
Yeah,
set a
something
bomb
like that.
off so it falls off, like almost like what Superman 1, right? Didn't they try to do the same thing as Superman 1? I guess I didn't think about that till now. I was like, wait a second, is this the same thing as Superman 1?
Maybe it was.
Who and then who played the bad guy? Oh God, what's his
Not
name?
sure.
Christopher Walken.
Oh,
Yeah, Christopher Walken. That's right. Plays the bad guy. I don't remember the character's name, but yeah, that song. Yeah, every time I hear that song, I think about that movie. And
Nice.
it's a James Bond movie.
Yeah.
You know.
Action, adventure, little romance in there.
Yeah. I'll just go right to our bread and butter here. I'm gonna talk about Aerosmith. I'm gonna talk about Don't Want to Miss a Thing from Armageddon.
Oh,
So you think of an asteroid movie. You think about End of the World. You think about Bruce Willis. You think about Ben Affleck, Steve Buscemi, all these guys in the movie. You're not thinking power ballad.
right.
You're not thinking power ballad. But, in that movie, there's obviously main story is, the asteroid that's going to hit the Earth. Armageddon's going to happen.
Right.
Earth is going to get destroyed. They got to send a ship up to drill a hole. That's why they have Bruce Willis's team up there. They train to go up. And that's really the main plot of the story. But there's that underlying love story between Liv Tyler and Ben Affleck's characters. Liv Tyler is Bruce Willis's daughter in the movie.
Yes.
And Ben Affleck works for Bruce Willis, and it's kind of like she's the forbidden fruit. He doesn't want anybody with his daughter. But there's that underlying love story, and the way that it's kind of like the secondary plot to the movie. But man, that song goes great with the movie, and kind of the I don't want to miss a thing. I'll spend every moment with you kind of a thing. And then having to risk their lives to go to this asteroid, not knowing if they're going to make it back or not. It's very pulls at the heartstrings. I'm not going to lie. I get emotional.
What, do they really think they're going to make it back?
Yeah, they're supposed to
Is
go
that what
and
the
make it
plan
back.
was?
Yeah,
They
yeah,
need
yeah.
to make it back?
And so, yeah, it's not, I do get emotional, but it's not like Dwight Schrute who cried when he was watching Armageddon. Of course, he says it was like the first snowfall of winter right at midnight. I don't know if you remember that scene from The Office, but he cried during Armageddon. Well, at least Michael says he did. But man, great song. Even just standalone by itself, I love it. Power ballads are great.
I know, right?
I can't get enough of them. I got a mix of just power ballads that I listen to and power ballad it up. I'm all for it. Love it.
Another movie which I love, just talk about two songs from the soundtrack, two specific scenes. Devil's Rejects, a second movie from Rob Zombie. And it starts off or opens up with Midnight Rider from the Allman Brothers. Man, it starts off excellent, fun, exciting, a bunch of good stuff. I mean, the song just sets the movie on fire and keeps it going and keeps it going. And they start off having some fun and shootouts and killing and just all kinds of exciting things for the movie to start off. And then the movie ends with Freebird from Leonard Skinner. How more can you just end a movie with that kind of song?
Free bird.
Right? Free Bird. I mean, put it that way. Though, when that movie ended and the song Free Bird, I had a little tear. It was that good. It brought that much emotion from a song, me watching the movie, to it. Because the movie's about characters who are killers, but the way the movie makes you feel on the end is now I'm caring about the characters and how they live, or how they survive. And it ends out in a shootout, Freebird goes on. Roll the credits. End of the movie.
Greg's crying.
Greg crying.
Well, he said a tear, so one tear.
Okay, just crying. I'm crying. And excellent. Love it. Devil's Rejects, beginning to... there's a lot of good songs in there, but I kind of wanted to keep it...
Well, those are two great ones.
Yeah,
sure.
those are two great ones from there, man.
Bread and butter time, 80s. Let's talk about it some more. I can't get enough of these movies from the 80s. I just can't get enough of them. And I'm gonna this movie right here, we're going to talk about Back to the Future, will always remain in my top 5 movies of all time. I can't think of, man, how do they come up with this stuff? How do they come up with these plots? I mean, Steven Spielberg, obviously, that's why. I mean, you can't. I just, man, Marty McFly going back in, he has to go back in time, or accidentally goes back in time, and then has to fix, he interacts with his mom and his dad and has to fix everything. And Christopher Lloyd's character, it's, who comes up with these crazy ideas for these movies? And obviously, whoever came up with that movie, came up with a couple of great songs to be in it. Back in Time and Power of Love from Huey Lewis and the News.
Good songs, man.
They one of them, Back in Time, I think plays at the end. I think it's the credit song, but Power of Love is playing, in that movie. I believe it's the scene where him and his girlfriend, he sees that 4x4 truck, and then her dad pulls up, and she writes says, "Here's my grandma's phone number." I'll be at my grandma's, and it says, "I love you," and the power of love.
Yeah,
I believe it's also playing when he's getting pulled behind the Jeep going to school at the beginning, right?
I think so.
And I love it, dude. What?
To be honest, Huey Lewis is not an artist I would listen to, or the pop songs he had, but man, those two songs really do help and make that soundtrack for that album.
I love Huey Lewis. I just listened to his Huey Lewis and the News Sports. That was, I think, their second or third album. I can't really remember. Man, that album, I think that had maybe one song. I skipped the rest of it, man. Whatever the other 10, 11 songs on there, I was like, man, I Want a New Drug, Hard to Rock and Roll, If This Is It. Great album.
Exactly.
But the two songs they did for Back to the Future were really great songs. You hear them on the radio. They take me back to that movie. One of my favorite movies of all time. Top 5 forever. Back to the Future. Love it.
Great. Another movie I'm going to bring up, which I love the movie, wasn't a big hit at first, but kind of got a cult following. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. A lot of good songs from that soundtrack, rock soundtrack. One of the standouts for me is Extreme's Play With Me, where it's just that instrumental solo, riff that these guys are fooling around in the mall, walking around or running around, trying to get the chaos under control. That was my first introduction to Extreme, and after that movie, or after the soundtrack came out, I was like interested in Extreme as a band.
Was that song on their first album? Or
yes,
it was on one of their albums.
Correct, it was on the first album too.
And it has Nuno Betancourt with the great guitar playing on that song, dude. You can't get enough of that.
I love Nuno.
Yeah,
he's solo artist and from Extreme.
Yeah, I did see that movie in the movie theater when it came out. Keanu Reeves, Alex Winter, isn't he play the other character in the movie? And man, great movie. Another one of those movies where, man, who writes this stuff?
Yeah.
I guess I could look at who wrote it. I mean, I could look at the credits and tell you exactly who, or Google it right now. But man, I see some of these movies and I'm like, man, who comes up with this crap?
What I did love about that, they always talked about Van Halen, right? Wild Stallions, Van Halen, but there are actually no Van Halen songs in the movie.
There's
not
no
even
Van Halen.
Hint, not even this, not even a riff, not even nothing from that.
You would hope for something. I mean, you can get Van Halen into a movie. I mean, you're winning, and,
right?
I mean, They do have George Carlin in that movie, comedian,
Yeah.
great comedian, and I love that. I mean, you watch some of these movies, and whenever they're doing like a dance scene or a stunt scene, or somebody's on a motorcycle, or oh, they jump on the motorcycle, they got to put the helmet on because they got the stunt double. Oh, they're doing the dancing. This person obviously can't dance, so they have they shoot it in a way.
Or they just show the feet or something.
So they show the feet. So during the movie, when George Carlin wants to play with them, I mean,
Yeah.
they never show him playing. They show the hand on the guitar, and then they go up to his face, and he's doing all the guitar playing faces, the kind of faces, like he's shredding. It's like, oh my god, dude, George Carlin is not shredding on guitar.
Right.
Stick to the comedy, which he is great at.
Yeah. Speaking about Van Halen, one movie that's in it, and they didn't really do a lot, was Better Off Dead.
Mm-hmm.
John Cusack. There's one scene where I guess he's dreaming, kind of goes off into a restaurant like flipping burgers, and the patty and the burger comes to life, and then everybody wants some. And that was, to my knowledge, the first Van Halen song in a movie.
Yeah.
And on the soundtrack.
That's kind of I guess you could file this movie under cult classic. I don't think very many people have heard of this movie. It's a John Cusack movie, and it also stars, I don't know the actor's name, but his best buddy is the guy that plays Booger in Revenge of the Nerds. He is hilarious, and he's a guy that wants to be the popular guy in school, has the hot girlfriend at the beginning.
Yeah.
They break up. She goes for the stud at school, and he's continually trying to win her back, and it revolves around them being able to ski the K-12.
Yeah.
The K-12 ski mountain. It's got just the right amount of cheesiness, but it's got some cool, the characters in it. It's just some weird shit. There's a French exchange student that the family she's living with ends up being John Cusack's love interest. Man, that movie is just, I think me and my brother rented that movie probably 30 times in the 80s. We just loved it. Couldn't get enough of it. But yeah, that scene where he falls asleep, he does he puts the patty on a like a riser kind of thing, and
trying to make it like a Frankenstein,
and pulleys it up to the roof.
Yes.
And the patty gets struck by lightning, and then it comes alive, and everybody wants some.
There you go.
I want some too.
Another scene from that is when they're driving and they have the two Asian drivers, and they kind of do like a Howard Cosell type of
because
scene.
they talk about how he learned English from watching ABC Wild World of Sports. And this Asian guy with his brother doesn't talk English at all, but he speaks English only in Howard Cosell.
Right.
It's great, dude.
That's funny.
And so there's like 3 or 4 scenes where they are street racing, which kids do not street race. It is illegal. You will be ticketed. That was my PSA for the show.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to talk about the next song I'm going to talk about. And it's a good song. It's not necessarily that the song is the most dynamite song. It's the scene that it goes with. Probably one of the most imitated, repeated. It's probably been on dozens of shows, maybe in other movies, is Old Time Rock and Roll from Risky Business. I think I don't know if it was Tom Cruise's first leading role. It may have been a movie about he's in a rich, affluent family. His parents go away for the weekend or the week. He is in high school. I believe he misses his final or something like that,
SATs.
or is late or something like that. And he ends up running like a brothel business.
Correct.
Out of his house.
Correct.
And that's risky business.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where his parents leave. What am I going to do for fun? I'm going to come out in my tidy whitey BVDs, a dress shirt, and
Some
lip sync Old Time Rock and Roll all over the house. Great scene.
Great scene. I think most memorable scene from that movie.
Oh, definitely. And one of the most memorable scenes from a movie ever. I mean, best scene? I don't know. But memorable? Yes. Memorable for sure. That movie also has Rebecca De Mornay, I think, was
Yes.
the one that he was kind of partnering with. And isn't Booger also in that movie?
Yeah, I was
Isn't
gonna bring
Booger in
that
that
up to you.
movie? Booger's also now, and he's just kind of like he's a regular kind of guy. He's not boogered up or anything like that. And you know, and I want to talk about a movie, or actually, I just want to talk about the song because the movie is actual garbage.
Oh,
The movie that is garbage is Batman Forever.
okay.
The song that is great is Kiss from a Rose by Seal. 1994-ish, 93-ish, I think this came out, early 90s. It was the Val Kilmer version of Batman. It was the one where Jim Carrey plays the Joker and Tommy Lee Jones plays Two-Face, I believe. Mm-hmm. Movie's garbage.
Wait a minute. Jim Carrey played the Riddler.
The Riddler. What did I say? Joker?
Yes.
Thank you for correcting me. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Get it correct.
Thank you. I will never make another mistake on this podcast, this episode. So he plays the Riddler, and Tommy Lee Jones plays Two-Face.
Correct.
And garbage movie. It's just like
Too cheesy for you?
too cheesy. You compare it to the original one, the Michael Keaton Batman.
Okay.
I mean, it's totally different. Who directed that first one? Was it
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton, right? And he didn't do this one.
Yeah.
I don't know who did this one, but
I think they geared more towards
kids.
yes, and I think that's what it was.
Well, they probably were thinking, we gotta sell some more action figures.
Yeah, more
it had Jim
t-shirts,
Carrey. We gotta
more-
kind of write it around his comedy, kind of the way
Correct.
he is and stuff like that. But "Kiss from a Rose" by Seal, a excellent song. I don't think of the movie when I hear it. It doesn't take me back to the movie.
Okay.
I just think, wow, this is a good song.
All right.
Seal, what a great.
It is a beautiful
voice.
song, man.
It's a beautiful
I mean,
song.
You
It's
can
a
hum
beautiful
it and
song.
sing it, and it's great, man.
I hear it on the radio. Love it.
And you listen to it?
Yeah, I listen to it. Like it a lot. It's really good. It just, it's unfortunate that it's linked to such a garbage movie. But man, and it was written for the movie. It was a song for the movie. It's the love theme for the movie. But I don't think of the movie. It's just, one of those songs that I think stands alone by itself. And I don't think when anybody hears it, they think of that garbage.
No.
What else you got? Greggy? Come on.
Ooh, I'm gonna. I want to bring up Metallica from the Mission Impossible 2 soundtrack. I Disappear. This is the first time Metallica actually gave an original song for a soundtrack. Do I remember it that much? But do I like the song? Heck yeah, man! It's a great song. Goes on there and plays.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it. I'm not. I remember the song. I disappeared, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
That was my.
It's good, man. It's one of those things that bands are between albums, and they release something. So, I thought it worked with the album. It may be good, maybe bad, whatever you take of it from. But for Metallica releasing a single from a soundtrack, that's pretty huge.
Oh yeah, they were always kind of just throughout their whole career. They didn't put out a music video until one, right? What was that?
Correct.
88 or
Yeah.
so. They didn't. They did the whole Napster thing. No one steals our music, which, okay, is probably right. Is
Yes.
right. I mean, legally. And then they're like, well, we're not gonna put anything on soundtrack, and then they finally do. It's like they like to hold out almost because they don't want to be like forced to do it until they want to do it. It's like on their terms kind of thing. Which
Correct.
Is, just the way they like to do things. Biggest heavy metal band of all time, I guess. They can do whatever they want. They can't
Right.
do wrong. Maybe they are doing it the right way. I want to talk about two more songs right here, and the movies aren't the same movie. It's not the same movie. I just want to talk about these two. The movie Ghost.
Okay.
With Patrick Swayze, my boy Patrick Swayze. Love him. Absolutely love Patrick Swayze. And Demi Moore. Ghost. There's the pottery scene. I mean,
Yeah, that made the
Unchained
movie
Melody
good.
by
Yeah,
the Righteous
Unchained
Brothers.
Melody.
You can't. I don't think that there is a better that. It's almost like that song was made for that scene. It just fits it so well. It's just shows the love between them and their bond and how much they love each other, and the unfortunates of what happens in the movie.
Correct.
I will not spoil it for anybody, but it shows the connection between them, which is important to the plot of the movie. It shows how much they love each other, which is important to the movie, and it's sensual, it's sexy without being overly so or tacky, and the song fits perfectly. It, as far as a scene of that type, showing them the love between two people, it doesn't get any better. The song doesn't get any better, and I love it. I love it. When I think of that song, I do think of that scene. Some people may be like, "Oh man, it ruined it for me." I love this. Like,
I don't think so.
I'm talking about older people.
Yeah,
people that are older than us. I mean, we're still a spry 45 and 52. But I love that song. I love that song standalone. I love it with the scene even more. It's great. And the last song I really want to talk about here for me is from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Oh Yeah by Yellow. If you don't know the song, it's the one that goes, oh yeah, boom, boom, dun, 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 boom, boom. What? It's kind of a what's the word I'm looking for? It's not
like
it's not like a hit song.
Correct.
And it wasn't like some huge song. It wasn't written for the movie, but it fits the scene so well. It's at the end of the movie when the principal, thinks he's caught Ferris Bueller in all of his hijinks, and then his car ends up getting towed, and he's got the missing the shoe and the frayed up dirty pants, and he has to get on the school bus. Mr. Rooney getting on the school bus or whatever, dude. That is hilarious, dude.
That's another good movie. I think they did have a cult following too. Started off when it came as released, big good hit, and then got a cult following to the end. Even today, that very last scene when after the movie ends and the credit rolls and he sticks his head out and goes, "What are you doing here? Leave the theater.
Yeah.
You're down there." Still today, people
get on with your lives.
Yeah, get on with your life. People love it. I mean, they even made in Deadpool 1, they did a little recreation of that.
Yeah. There's a couple other good songs from that movie. Twist and Shout.
Right.
He's on the float. That sticks out in my mind. He did Donkey Shane, which was what's his name? The Vegas entertainer that did that song. I can't remember. His name escapes me.
Yeah.
Man, but that song at the end of that movie is great. I think I have a 12-inch single. I'm talking about records. I have a 12-inch single of that song.
Donkey Shane?
No, of Oh Yeah by Yellow.
Oh, okay.
Like a 12-inch single, and I bought it at like Goodwill or some used record store or something like that. I'm like, oh man, this is a song from Ferris Bueller. I gotta buy this, and it's got a couple of different mixes on it and stuff, but obviously the original is the best. But man, that movie is great. Love that movie. Everybody needs to do a Ferris Bueller day in their life.
There you go.
You just gotta,
heck yeah.
How does anybody expect me to go to school on a day like this?
Right.
And it's great. The song at the end of the movie is great, and I just love it. Can't get enough.
Exactly.
So how about you, Greg? You got, those are the last two I really wanted to talk about right there. Is there anything else you want to throw out there?
Sure.
Any other songs you want to talk about? I may think of another one or two that may come to my head, and I will try not to interrupt you, but go ahead.
Well,
let me know.
One of the movies which I really loved and the soundtrack too was Valley Girl back in the 80s. There's too many great songs on that soundtrack. The movie, fun. Same thing, set in Los Angeles in the Valley, between the Valley kids and the Hollywood kids. And, standouts for me are the Plimsolls, A Million Miles Away. And that's what it starts off.
That scene, love it. That's when they go on their first date, right?
Correct.
And they go oh man, great song.
And then the other song, which I do love today, is definitely one of my favorite songs of the 80s, is Eyes of a Stranger from the Payolas. Starts off with like a reggae beat and starts off going, but love that song.
Yeah,
love it today.
You would definitely file that movie under cult classic as well.
Definitely cult classic.
Was he still Coppola or was he Cage at that point?
Cage.
Nick Cage.
Nicolas Cage.
Was that his first?
I think it was his
first lead role.
Correct.
That movie. That's a good movie. It dude, like totally for sure. The Valley girls are talking Valley.
Correct.
It's like hilarious. Like gag me with a spoon. Oh my god.
Yeah, there were girls like that.
I speak fluent Valley girl.
Oh, okay.
So just to let you know.
All right.
But yeah, that movie is fun. That's a fun watch. I mean, you just want to go over the plot quick. Let us know what it's about. Tell us about the plot.
There you go. A kid, a guy. Okay, let's see. A kid from the Valley, a punker, meeting a girl from Hollywood, and they kind of meet each other, kind of get involved in each other's lives, and the friends, like, hey, he's crazy, or hey, you're too good for her. They kind of fall in love, fight it out, and love prevails.
Love prevails. Oh yeah, now that I think about it, and I'm kind of going over the movie in my head, when they leave the dance, remember he goes and like crashes the dance at the end, and they leave in the car in the limo. Isn't Melt With You? Isn't that the place at the end? Yeah, I totally forgot. I don't think of that scene when I hear the movie, I don't think of that scene when I hear the song, but I just realized, oh yeah, that song is in that movie, Melt With You. I forget who sings that.
Modern
song.
English?
Modern English, I think. Yeah, you're right. Man, I haven't seen that movie in a while. I'm going to have to go back and watch it. Is it even out anywhere?
Yeah, you could probably find it.
I'll have to ask Alexa.
Streaming. There you go.
If it's out. She's going to say, huh? What? What else you got? What else you got, Greg?
A song which I love, Matrix, from the Matrix 2 soundtrack, is POD's Sleeping Awake. Rock song set in a time frame. It's awesome. I really love it. I mean, it sets the mood from the Matrix 2. I mean, Matrix 1 came out and everybody, it was the same thing. Slow burn, but when it came out, it just rocked. Soundtrack was there's a lot of good songs on soundtrack 1. This is part of 2. Same thing. Took it to another level. Good artist, good song. But this song stood out for me, which is, if they ever come out live, if they ever play live again, and they come to LA, definitely one of the songs that I want to hear them play and stuff like that. Good song from Matrix 2, Sleeping Awake.
Love it. For Matrix 2, I'm gonna have to go. We just watched all the Matrix movies, me and my wife, because we're getting ready for the new one that's coming out. I'm gonna have to look up that song. I'm not sure. Anything else you want to talk about? Any other songs? Or you good? I mean, there's hundreds of songs, thousands, movies. I mean, we're gonna have to do what I think, Greg. We're just gonna have to do a part 2. We're gonna, because if we keep going, we're gonna do a 2-3 hour episode.
All right.
So we're gonna have to do another part 2 for this, and we're gonna start talking about all those other great John Hughes movies. We're gonna have to talk about some 16 Candles, some Pretty in Pink. Some just to tease you guys. Bohemian Rhapsody, Fast Times, stuff like that.
There you go.
Some newer stuff, Greatest Showman, that kind. We're gonna go over some of the songs that we like from movies. You got any you maybe are gonna talk about on part 2? Any movies you wanna kind of tease with?
Godzilla.
Well,
there's been a lot, but I think one soundtrack from Godzilla was it. Another soundtrack I want to talk about, Judgment Night. Mm-hmm. A lot of good.
Yeah.
I think the soundtrack was better than the movie. That's it for right now.
Okay.
I'll keep
everything else under wraps.
Yes. Secret.
Okay. All right. Well, hey guys, we're gonna go ahead and leave this as part 1, and we're gonna come back and probably release a part 2.
Sounds
shortly
good.
Following this. Maybe,
there you go.
Maybe a day or 2 after this one, and we'll let you guys know. We'll post it all on our Instagram page, which is at BigTalkCG, and email us at BigTalkCG@gmail.com. Let us know. Give us your favorites, your songs, your soundtracks, your movies, your loves, your hates, your wants, your needs, your desires.
There you go.
Everything. We'll read them all personally. We still don't have an assistant. And my 12-year-old will not do any work for less than $20 an hour. And I told her to pound sand. I said, no way. Yeah. I said, take a long walk off a short pier. I haven't seen her since. But, all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and go. Thanks for listening. And that's it.
See ya.